What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Oh, everybody. So can you hear the echo for myself on the microphone at all?
I can.
So people in the booth, you can turn me down just on the speaker. All right. So yeah, John, how's everything going, man? You doing nice?
Hanging in there, man. Holy crap. I've been in this weird quarantine lockdown thing since March, working from home. It's been quite an adventure.
It's been an adventure on our end too, and it's been really fun at the LAN. We have all the social distance stuff, but it's clean, man. Keeping it clean.
Yeah, I'm impressed you guys are able to pull this off. I mean, it's a important time to keep masks on, keep hands clean, keep some distance, and just be generally a little bit extra safe out there. But yeah, you guys sound like you're doing it right.
So we'll go ahead and get this thing going, started, looking good. So in the with all this stuff going on, actually no, let me introduce her. So everybody, welcome John Mundy Jr. He
Thank you.
graduated from the University of California, Berkeley with a BA in Film Studies. Good deal with third-person shooters as well as adventure games. Previously, he was a studios in downtown Seattle. He was in charge of level design for Sony title Fat Princess. It was award-winning.
You're cutting out a little bit, my friend. Apologies.
It's all good.
To the room.
Anyway, I'll move on. So you're also the head of design at FunBits Interact, where you guys delved into VR experiences as well for the Oculus Rift.
Yep.
And then you guys also worked with Facebook, Google. What's up? Turn this off.
No worries, we got this.
All right, so there's it echoing now. Find out here in a second. All right, cool. That sounds good to me.
Nice, sounds good to me too.
Sweet. All right, so where are we at? Yeah, you guys worked with whenever you were with FunBits, Facebook, Google, Sony, and Bungie.
All those people,
obviously, a lot more as well, but
yeah, those are the main folks we work with. Yep.
Sweet. And then as well, John was a senior game designer, Respawn Entertainment, Titanfall 2 content, some of the beginnings of Apex Legends.
Correct.
Right now, Mr. Mundy is a senior game designer and scripter at Infinity Ward.
Correct.
Multiplayer on the multiplayer team, on the core multiplayer as well as stuff.
Yep.
Sweet. So yeah, that's our guy John Mundy. Everybody, welcome in and things started.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me here. This is quite a cool thing. I love talking to people about people who are super excited about games, especially because I work at Infinity Ward on the multiplayer team. Like LAN parties are perfect places where people like to get together and play games. Like that's what it's all about.
Good stuff. So then, so what is it like right now working from home compared to working in office?
It's a fantastic question. I mean, the industry has been kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say decimated, but like we're in a different spot right now. Teams are all working from home, and I mean, a lot of indie studios, indie people could already work from home and did figure that out, but big studios like Infinity Ward or Respawn, they're all on site. There are 100 people, 300 people, 1,000 people all working together, and all of a sudden they got to send you home. So actually last March, when kind of it all went down for a lot of the studios, they sent us all home. They sent us with our work PCs, and we figured it out. We struggled a little bit to get working, but we are fully operational remote. I have been to my office once since March. The funny story there is my cat actually broke and bricked my computer. My cat bricked my computer. The quick story is he leaned on the power button on my case and sent it into shutdown. I panicked. I tried to basically stop the shutdown and because I didn't want to lose work. And once I rebooted, it was some sort of fatal error. So I had to bring the computer in. And when I showed up, one guy came down, picked up my computer from my car, and said basically like, you can't come inside. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. How many people are there? How's it going? He's like, it's just me. We were like a 300-person office, and it was just him. So we went back upstairs and took 2 hours, fixed my machine, gave me a new one, and came back down. It's just crazy. So yeah, and I haven't seen my coworkers since then either, except for things like this where we get to chat, and webcams are a premium right now for all this, and it's pretty
Yeah.
impressive. It's a crazy play. It's a crazy way to work, but you know what? We launched Warzone. I don't know what, like less than a week before we all got sent home, and I think Warzone's done all right. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, I look. Warzone's really nice. A lot of people give it great praise. Definitely calling it one of the better parts of Call of Duty years. It's definitely one of the better parts of Modern Warfare for sure.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
And then here, so with with the rise of like games as a service, because Warzone's kind of since bringing it in from Black Ops 5, like, have you seen any sort of like fall off of short-term contractors, or are you guys going away from using those a lot? I guess kind of on your team, probably. Yeah, what's like the short-term contractor part?
Um, That's a fair question. I mean, has games as a service changed like contractors and stuff? And it's funny. I don't think so. What it really means is that like there's a lot more content to be produced. Like it used to be, you make a game, and the game goes on the shelf, and you're done. And oh, maybe we do one DLC pack, but we're on to the next game.
Yeah.
For Warzone and Modern Warfare 2019, we've worked on it now for a year. Like Modern Warfare came out almost a year ago. Actually, a year ago tomorrow. Holy crap! It's been a year. Uh, Feels like I've never stopped working since then. But to your question of like short-term, contractors, like no, I think we still hire contractors. There are still some positions that are very contract based, but as the industry has grown since I started, a lot of that like content ends up at outsourcers. So if a company needs to make a bunch of new art or a bunch of sound stuff, and they don't have it in house, we'll go to an outsourcer. You know what an outsourcer is, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a bunch of people who work for a company, and they get contracts to make, I don't know, like cool art, cool levels. But it's usually art too, and that works, and that's fine. But yeah, we bring them on for various different props, animations, and stuff like that. And that's so yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't say that contracting has gone away, but I think it's evolved, and I don't think games as a service has really changed that too much.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, then, is there anything that you do miss about being a developer at still involved with Fun Bits at all? Since I know you're working.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I think that's how dreams are made. being at an independent studio, like
Yeah, man.
the skies are huge, and it's you shoot for the stars, and it's an amazing feeling to be about part of something that's starting, and finding funding, and finding like a way to not like eat ramen every day eventually, and finally you're like it works. And I spent 7 years at Funbits, and I have no regrets about anything I did there. I encourage anyone who has the chance, especially when you're younger and have a lot more time and maybe not a family and kids and stuff, but like go do that. Like I miss that. I miss that experience of the unknown, but the possibilities were endless. And obviously, working at some place like Infinity Ward, I'm gonna make, wait for it, Call of Duty, right? Like right,
Yeah.
like it's no surprise to anyone. Like I'm not gonna make a fantasy role playing game or an RTS. Like we're making Call of Duty, whatever that incarnation is. And so that's obviously being at an independent studio, you like do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
that was a magical time. And it's also, for those who are really listening, it's stressful too, because I'm I have no doubt that we're going to release another Call of Duty game. When at FunBits, there's a lot of doubt where you're going to get your next paycheck, or what project you're going to have, or even if you're going to have a next project. So there's ups and downs for sure. But I do miss it. I do miss it for sure.
So then, for anyone trying to get in, do you think that both the kind of contracting side are those kind of easy to trade per se versus the larger corporate?
What was the question more? Is it easier for independent, or is it easier for big companies, or?
Well, is it easy for a person that's trying to get into industry indies?
You know what? It really depends. I started my own career at an independent studio, and they were just hungry for people who would work for cheap. So, I mean, that's one way to do it, certainly. But then also, you think about these big companies like Infinity Ward and Activision Blizzard. Like, we have a robust QA department, and we hire people through that department into permanent positions all the time.
Mhm.
So there is no longer just one way to get in the industry. There are tons of ways to get in. And I'm happy to answer any questions about like what people think they might need to do, or what's a good path. But yeah, we hire people all the time into QA, and they get promoted into full-time positions on the team, permanent, and it's awesome. So yeah.
It was fun. One of the uh, whatever. I've seen someone at, I think they had worked Samba de Amigo QA, and then they a role working at Borderlands. So that was a pretty cool little.
Yeah, it's certainly the truth that people and lots of companies, lots of big companies do get to move in through QA, and it's been a thing since I started. So it's still going. I mean, it's a lot of way to like have someone who doesn't have any knowledge of what a game is or what game development is, and have them kind of get exposed to it. Because you're playing the game, you're seeing bugs, and you have to critically think about like, why did this thing break? It's not, it's not a fan raging the fact that they, didn't get something didn't work, or some checkpoint didn't get hit, or they didn't get awarded some weapon. It's like, okay, wait, why did that happen? So I have to provide some information to get to a bug written up so someone can fix that. And then you start to understand a lot of like, how the sausage is made. And then all of a sudden, we let you help make the sausage.
Nice, nice. Now that I think about it, my buddy Chaz, whenever we did our interview back, he's trying to get into the directing side, I guess, like
Nice.
of at BioWare. So he's kind of doing the same thing, but he started out at IT. So that's a really cool thing. Also, it really is about getting your foot in the door where you fit in, if you will, sounds like, and then you kind of rise from there. Cool.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
then, when talking about nutty things about how the sausage, what kind of challenges do you kind of tackle whenever you're scripting for the game modes like Plunder?
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, let's see. We can talk about specifically plunder, I guess. So stuff you have to tackle there is how do you deal with like 100, 150 people all bouncing around the map fighting for cash? Like you gotta find things that get them attracted to each other, get them like focused and fighting, because it's there's no circle. It's not battle royale. There's not this thing that's forcing. There's no forcing function that's bringing people together. So you have to make them. So bringing people together in such a large map was actually the challenge there. But if specifically you mean scripting, that in general, being on a multiplayer team, like I had a boss once who, we were doing single player and multiplayer, and he's like, multiplayer, that's like twice as hard, right? It's like, no, it's an order of magnitude more difficult. There's so many things you have to think about when you're doing
Yeah.
multiplayer gaming, as far as like, when players join, if players late join, what happens if, people lose packets, what happens, I mean, and there are just tons of extra considerations. So when it comes to scripting multiplayer stuff, you have to think about all the edge cases that could possibly happen, and that just gets way complicated. And this is why, like, I think it's really cool that we have engines like Unreal and Unity and things that already support networking out of the bag. And there's a lot of problems you don't have to solve, but you still need to think about it as a developer. You think about, like I said, like what happens when a player disconnects, or what happens when someone joins 30 seconds after all the other players. There's just so many things, and for me, it's problem solving. That's really what game design is. What is game design? It's problem solving, right?
Yeah,
Like you're a detective sometimes, and you're trying to figure out, what's the best way to do things, or why did this thing break? And yeah, that's absolutely the most fun thing about the job. It's just you're a problem solver all day.
clean. Yeah. So then we'll kind of switch beads a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
So then across all the games, what level or map are you the most proud of?
Ooh, level or map? Interesting.
Or I guess I should say before you continue to think about it, scripting isn't the only level
Right.
design stuff it has as well. So that push for me.
Wait, say that last part again. Sorry, you cut off for a second there.
That's what feeds this question because I well.
Hold on, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Hold on. Sorry, just a second.
Is the audio cutting out for you?
Yeah. Maybe hold that mic a little closer. I'm not sure.
It sounds like it's coming through okay for me through the please. But is it still cutting out for you?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Yeah, I get cut off just a little bit. But ask the question again. We'll see where we go from here.
Sure. Across all the games you've worked on, what level or are you proud of?
Oh, interesting. I have to think about this. So, all the things I've worked on, which level? Goodness gracious. Why is this so tough? I probably have to go back to the Fat Princess stuff. When I joined that team, they had no dedicated level designer. They really needed some support, and they had, definitely had people there very talented, and even some folks who were, level design talented, but they didn't have anyone focused on it. So when I came in, they're like, all the levels are yours, and that's a lot. So every level in that game, I was in charge of and responsible for. So I'm not going to say necessarily any one particular level there, um, but I love God. I love that game, and that's just I've met so many people through that game. There's such an amazing following still for that game, the PS3 game. Um, Probably every level in that game I'm a fan of. But I will say there's one little quick story. I had to make quite a few levels, and towards the end of the cycle, I was kind of getting a little, I don't know, crispy burnt. I was running out of ideas, and I love drawing on paper, so I would draw a level out, kind of, paper and pencil, and it just wasn't gelling. And I occasionally go to this one thing. It's called oblique strategies. It's a deck of cards. I don't know. Have you heard of oblique strategies?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it's a deck of cards made by Brian Eno and some other guy. I forget his name. And there are ways to get past design blocks. And I said, okay, I'm gonna pull a random card from the deck and see what happens. And it said, turn things upside down. So I
Hmm.
literally took my piece of paper and I turned it upside down, and I went, oh wow, that is a way better layout.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's what became of Candy Mountain, the Fat Princess level. It used to be totally upside down, and I said, nope, it's gonna be the other way now, and that's what we made, and that's what we shipped. So
That's fun, dude. That kind of does give me a little bit of sense like that. Now that I think about it, for the way that it's all shaped. Like if it was the other way, it was like almost like a normal drawing, flipping it upside. Kind of see that. That's kind of
totally
fun.
worked. Yeah.
Fun.
So fun things about that game. Yeah. So Fat Princess as a whole, as far as all those levels, those are definitely my favorite to build. Yeah, hands down.
Fun. So then, on that same bead, what level or map are you the least proud of?
Oh dear. Least proud. Everything is perfect. What do you mean? um, Gosh, what level am I least proud of?
I
That's a
mean, and
good.
it's not even to say that it's your worst work. It's just could it have been a little bit better to ship is like it to that type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could probably go to the kill switch work that I did. Like I was so happy to be a part of that game back at Namco
Mhm.
before we had, modern shooters. Like we were making something pretty amazing, and I look back at that and I was like, wow, I could have done a little better. I mean, I don't know. I can't really point at yeah, yeah. There was a submarine level that I worked on where you had to go kind of like spiral up some stairs, and it was just, yeah, it was a little plain. But then, I have to look at my modern sensibilities and say, like, yeah, it was probably fine then. I'm looking
Yeah,
back, knowing that, like, let me look at the single player stuff that Call of Duty did in this last offering. It was light years beyond what was happening 15 years ago.
yeah, and like Kill Switch, that was like considered like one of the first covers, right?
It absolutely was the first cover shooter, first
Yeah,
cover shooter where you can take cover and blind fire over the wall. Yeah, yep, yep.
sure. So it's treading new ground. It's always fun to see how things. Sure.
Well, I mean, so the story behind that is that some of the key players on that title actually left and went to Infinity Ward.
Oh,
Uh,
fun.
So the roots in what just came out in Modern Warfare were also there back, in Kill Switch days, Namco. So
Have
yeah,
you found the game dev world the longer that you're does it seem to be a little more compact? You see a lot of the same people as you travel from studio to studio.
yeah. I think the industry is just really, I mean, the developer side is not that big. Like, I mean, there's rumors that on average people last 10 years in the industry before they turn out, and I don't know if that's true because there's, the industry wasn't that old.
Yeah,
Yeah, and so people, people are learning what it's all about, and they're hanging out longer, and they're making careers out of it. But yeah, absolutely, like you run into people all the time, and because of things like Facebook or Discord or whatever, like people are staying in touch more. People are still playing games online more together. I play games with, I left Respawn and I play lots of games with them still after I left. And it's right around when PUBG was kind of getting really big, and we formed friendships, and so I think it's a small industry. You run into people. You shouldn't burn bridges, if you will. Like, right, like
yeah,
you might run into someone 10 years down the road, and all of a sudden, you're interviewing with them, and they might be your boss. So, like, yeah, just it's the whole, like, just be nice to people, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. And
but yeah,
especially like I've noticed that myself in IT. Kind of the higher up you go, and end up finding a lot of people when you go jobs else. Whenever you go job searching somewhere else, or some if you're a manager somewhere, you'll more than likely find another one of your peers.
yeah,
Fun.
100%. I mean, it's almost like an incestuous thing. Like, especially I can see it now through like Respawn and Infinity Ward, where we're down the street from each other, and we swap people all the time. Like,
Yeah,
we made a joke at one point, right about the time when I was leaving Respawn for Infinity Ward. Like, there's a commuter bus that pulls up at a Respawn and drops off Infinity Ward employees, picks up the Respawn people and drops them off at Infinity Ward. It's just like this. I mean,
not
because
bad.
right, we're similar. We're this cut from the same fabric, and some people have worked at both for years, and it's just, yeah. I mean, that's a small piece of how the industry is, but it is across the industry. And you know what? The other thing is, people talk about like networking saving the day. Like, gosh, so many people get jobs and get referred because they know someone at the company they want to interview at. It's a good thing. Like, swap information, keep in touch with people because it really will get your foot farther in the door.
So then I guess we'll move on. We'll move on to
Yeah,
this. So
yeah.
for stuff in VR, um, it's kind of fun for me at least. I really love rail shooters, and so Neo Hunter is a fun little thing with some aspects on it. Do you think that Neo Hunter would be fit for a resurrection in VR?
That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Well, Neo Hunter was the first game I ever worked on.
Mhm.
It, it's atrocious. I mean, it's a game from 25 years ago. It is what it is. And at the time, I probably thought it was amazing, and now I look back at it and go like, yeah, I could have been better. Um, but one of the things that I find, before I answer the specific question, one of the things I find fascinating is uh, who actually wrote the dialogue for that game?
Oh yeah,
Did
who was? I don't remember who was it.
Oh, come on, guess. Just one guess.
Okay, one guess. I'll just guess Orson Scott Card.
You nailed it.
Three for the fence.
Now you
Yeah.
remembered. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
So I mean, he's got issues in my mind. He's got he's a strange fellow. We'll put it at that. But I love his books, and so the fact that he wrote the first game that I worked on, and in fact, I missed meeting him by 1 week. I
Oh,
started like the week after he had left. He basically was on site and wrote all the dialogue and the story right there. But so yeah, so Neo Hunter, a tiny rail shooter game, PC game that had a lot of heart behind it. Um, could it be a VR game? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was an interesting story behind that game. The whole game was about what if an earthquake hit and California separated from the main part of the U.S. and then there was some political intrigue revolved around it being its own country. Yeah, it was actually a really cool story.
yeah.
Um, but as far as VR, yeah, I mean, I think rail shooters are already in VR, and it could totally be something. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. It's just fun seeing some get new modern era. Just thought it would be funny to see Neo Hunt come back for sure. So then, on another beat as well from Orson Scott Card's, one of my favorite games of all time, that unfortunately failed right out of the gate, is Firefall. He did the story for that as
Oh,
well.
oh, I didn't even know he did this story for that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that the universe that it exists in is based off of something the original creator of Firefall set up, but Orson Scott Card was involved in the larger story to like a whole bunch of stuff in together and have all these cool story threads. Yeah, it was this little deal that he got on. He also made a like a manga or comic book type thing with his daughter, so that was really cool.
That's awesome. So one of my friends who actually worked at Funbits, he was the art director, actually left and worked as either the art director or lead environment artist on Firefall. So that's back to the whole like small industry thing. So yeah, I followed that for sure. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm actually, and funny enough, I know Orson's written for various different studios, and his son is now actually in the industry as well. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, oh gosh, the zombie studio in Seattle. What's it called? Undead Labs. Thank you. So he works at Undead Labs as a designer over there, and I've met him a few times. So he's a cool guy.
Nice. Here. So then, what kind of game do you play free time?
What do I play in my free time?
Yeah.
Oh dear. How about you answer first? I want to hear what you play.
Sure. So recently, I've been getting down in Dauntless, kind of like a Monster Hunter clone style game.
Oh, cool.
Genshin Impact, which is like a Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild's kind of clonish thing. I've been playing that with my girlfriend. It's been real fun.
That's
Free
awesome.
to play, they've been kind of shaking up what people think about gotcha games. So like loot box type stuff. It's just crazy what they're offering for free, and you just see it that often. The level of work that they're doing. It's like some type like for some people it can be like a 60-hour experience, like 100% free. And so that's been a really fun to touch on. And then I've been replaying through Halo since they released that on PC. So
Nice, nice.
been having some fun with those.
So I can echo some of those sentiments about like free to play. I mean, not to not to sell it too hard, but like, it was a big deal to give Warzone away for free,
Hmm.
as far as Activision's concerned, because they're a annual subscription company. Buy our new Call of Duty every year, right? So that was a big step. But mentioning that, like, I play that game all the time. Like, I feel like when people make games, if they end up playing their game, that's a good sign that it's probably actually a good, good game.
Yeah.
I play Warzone all the time. What else am I playing? I played a lot of actually Escape from Tarkov lately. Just trying to get into something that's a little bit more hardcore. Hell Let Loose. I mean, obviously, I'm attracted to shooters since that's what I work on.
Hmm.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room, Among Us.
Ah, yes.
Among Us. I wonder
Yeah.
if anyone's playing it there right now, or if you guys have had any games of it. But that game is taken over. I feel like I have a thing tonight actually with some friends. We're gonna play it online and be on
Oh,
Discord
clean.
or Zoom. It's just like that game is so fun and it's so simple.
It really is. Did you know what the year that it actually came out?
Yeah, it came out 2 years,
Yeah,
3.
2 years ago.
That's insane. The game sat there. It didn't do so well. I think they said like I think I read an article that said like there were like 20 people playing it online like a month after it came out, and now we're seeing like 400,000 people playing it
Yeah,
concurrently. It's insane. Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so that I've definitely been playing that. It's really fun. The fact that it's free on mobile, like
Hmm.
speaking of free games, like what the
Yeah.
so yeah, that's an amazing story of a team that just really nailed it, and it's another indicator that like, you release something and it might just be I don't know, 2 years too soon.
Yeah, a matter of time, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we've done a game of the hour for it. Yesterday, played a little bit of it on. Had a whole bunch of people trying to get down on it as well.
Ah, awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
And
What else?
then
Oh, has anyone played Phantasmaphobia? I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
I don't think that we have it currently set up as a game of the hour, but I definitely see a lot of notifications from Steam's friends list, like always playing.
Yeah, that ghost hunting game is I mean, it's apologies to anyone if you're listening and you worked on it, but like it's janky, but that's part of the charm. It's part of the charm. I mean, it's so fun. And when I get to see on camera, like in video camera, I'm like, my friend just got killed the other night. It was just like, no, it's the ghost is right. Oh, you're dead.
Goodbye.
It's just, and it's so freaky, man. It's just like all the noises and stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that I've
For
been
sure.
playing that a little bit too. What else? Oh, I went back to Spider-Man because I didn't finish it, and I'm really excited about the new one on PS5. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, that Spider-Man is game is awesome.
I can't wait till the Miles Morales drop.
Yeah,
Fun.
it's gonna be awesome.
So then, what mix of games would actually be your ultimate? What kind of stuff would you pick and choose to put together to make something?
So that question you did actually give me ahead of time, and I had to think about that one a lot.
Mhm.
And okay, this is gonna be wacky. Do you remember Monkey Island
Yeah,
and like Day of the Tentacle?
little clicking.
Yeah, 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 yeah. LucasArts games. I want to make an open world Monkey Island game,
Open world.
like GTA style.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. That'd be really interesting.
It'd be
Like really nice like story notes built in for all that kind
yeah,
of
but
stuff.
like but that sense of humor, it would be so cool. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, just like there's some love I have for those style games. Hold on,
So
I need 2 seconds. I apologize.
sure, yeah. I'm thinking that sounds like a good mix of something that you'd. What's that one from? Was it Tim something or other?
Oh,
Tim
Tim Schafer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Schafer. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It sounds like something like that. Would be pretty. Was I thinking? Let's see here.
Sorry, minor emergency. I'm back.
It's all good. So
Where
then,
were we? Sorry about that.
just talking about your ultimate game, man.
Oh, the ultimate game. So
Yeah.
that's a thing, man. Like I feel like humor in games is missed. Like there's so many serious games out there. I mean, I work on one of the most trying to be super serious game, and it's like I don't know. Like I miss things like Double Fine or Telltale trying to bring back some of that stuff. Like I don't. It's really hard to be comedy and artistic or what am I looking for? Like authentic. And so those games always captured something for me, and I wish there were more of them. And Monkey Island kind of I don't know, petered out, but the early games were just so fun. And Day of the Tentacle, and back to like the old original Maniac Mansion, which was the first one.
Hmm.
Like there's just something about those games, and it's not just those games. It is like it is Tim Schafer and people like that. And, we revere him, and he's done amazing things. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's hit quite. the opus that he did hit in the early days. It was Psychonauts. Psychonauts was amazing. I love that game.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a second one coming out, right? Am I right
Yeah.
about that? Yeah,
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 there's
yeah.
like one. I think that they've hit their stride in development, if I'm not mistaken. So they're throwing it into like regular.
That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. So that's where I'm at. I just want to see more games like that, and something that could be like the next level would be like, why not do an open world game, sandbox? I mean,
Yeah.
what about a multiplayer silly comedy game? I mean, I guess. Oh my God, I already Fall Guys. Fall Guys has a little bit of that sentiment, right? Like I've played a bunch of that too.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Borderlands kind of has that set up, although a lot of their comedy, in my opinion, falls flat. But things like Deadpool is always a really fun game for me. Like
Yes.
it was nuts that it was just like this very like you could tell that they definitely focused on like trying to make sure the comedy comes through. It's good. I like that. Fun.
Oh, Deadpool's awesome, man. Like that's an adult version of kind of what I was describing, and I wouldn't mind playing a game like that as well. Yeah, totally.
So then a few of my friends, we kind of talk philosophically. We jump in these conversations about games like MMOs or shooters where we go on for an hour and talk about the things that we really liked in games and how we think that, oh man, well, this other game could implement that if they tweaked one part of their game. Sweet. So then, are there any cool things that you've seen in games recently that could be explored further in future games?
Uh, well, I mean, there is the recent craze of turning everything into a battle royale game, so that's a thing. So how do we
Yeah,
fight against that? I mean, I was a part of that, so I don't know. I mean, philosophically, what do we really? That's a tough one. I mean, so I'll twist it a little bit. Like
sure.
games copy games.
Hmm.
How about that? Like one good idea in your game is going to turn into 10 good ideas in 10 other games. Like it's we copy each other. We I mean, you can't go as far to say we plagiarize because it's not quite the same. But like yeah, like there are some amazing things that get solved in certain games and then other games replicate them, and that's just how the industry has been forever and ever and ever. So I don't know specifically though. Philosophical questions. I think what it really comes, and this is a personal spin on it. So when I was younger, I'm sure I had all sorts of like amazing things I was going to try to solve in the industry, and like I had big dreams of like true artificial intelligence, and like you wouldn't know who's a player and who's a bot, and that's like at this point I'm like I just want to make good games based on like tried and true, and the things we already know, and one of the lessons I certainly have learned along the way is like, and this was at Funbits, like we sat down after months and months of working on like Fat Prince's Adventures or Escape Plan actually in particular, and we said, why is this so hard? Um, and we started to list off the hard problems that we were trying to solve. We were working on new hardware. We were porting the Unity engine to a different platform.
Mhm.
We had a new IP we were working with. We had a console that wasn't even out yet. We had a company that we were starting. I mean, right there's already like 5, 6 hard problems we were trying to solve. And really, what we should have been doing is try to solve like one or two hard problems. So that's philosophically, you shouldn't be trying to solve too many things. Don't try to reinvent the wheel all the time. And that's really like the lesson learned is like only take on so many hard problems at
Hmm.
once.
That makes
Um,
sense too, because like you think about all the games that are really popping, like Among Us, Fall Guys. They kiss, keep it simple, stupid. Like
yes, totally.
yeah, it's a nice little thing. See, yeah, I can't wait to see some more just like fun, kind of simplistic games, so to speak, simplistic. I've been seeing a lot of fun in indies from this website called Alpha Beta Gamer.
Ooh, I got to check that.
They they post some stuff that people do in game jams. So like these guys got 7 days to put together a video game. They got to make something, a part of the theme that they're doing for that game. And there's a lot of really cool little games that they have on that website that you can find, play for like 10, 15 minutes. Some of the games are like hella hard, like this one called Control Alt Delete. Or no, Hit Control, that's what it is. And so they
Nice.
have just a little guy, and you can control him with your arrow keys. You have to hit Control. So you, as the player, you hit Control on your keyboard and game. then it spawns a avatar for you to control with the arrow, and you have to make that avatar hit the control key on the screen. It's just one little key, and you do that, and they do that like 3 or 4 times. So that one little game and that one little idea, you know, the first part of it is like, you know, seconds long, but whenever you get 3 deep in that and you're having to control 3 avatars to hit their own arrow keys to make their avatar move, hit their control key, like that thing can evolve into an hour.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
nuts. It was a
Uh,
really fun game to play.
yeah, game jams are a really great way for people to like just kind of like cut their teeth on what it is to make a game. You're given like a I mean, let's be honest. A lot of people who try to get into making games, they give themselves impossible goals, and they're going to make their, the opus that's going to be like quality of Breath of the Wild, and you know,
Mhm.
3 weeks in, you're like, I don't have time for this, and it's maybe I'm not saying people are bad or wrong. Like, have your dreams, but like game jams are like get something done in a weekend, get something done in 7 days, and then show it off, and then talk about it. No one's going to be hard on you for like not having bugs or having something that's a little broken. It's not about
Mhm.
that. It's about showing off a really cool idea and a mechanic that gets people talking and thinking. And when I think about like the quality of things that come out of game jams, I often think about I mean, the game Journey.
Mhm.
Um, that game, believe it or not, started off as an experiment. It was a pixelated top-down. You're literally moving blocks around a space because
Mhm.
they knew they could make a beautiful and emotional environment, but what they were really getting at was how many play because you play that game, you're connected to the internet, it matches you silently in the background with other people, and all of a sudden you see somebody else, and that's a real person playing the game. So what they were trying to get at is what was the right number of people to pair together, and they experimented in that top down. It could have been done in a weekend kind of looking game, and they
Mhm.
figured, what's the right number? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? And they found out through that experiment that 3 people was not good because 2 of those people would inevitably group up, and the third person would be an outsider, and they didn't want that. They wanted everyone to feel like they were on a journey with someone else.
Yeah.
So that's how they discovered that 2 was the ideal number, and that's what they went with the shipped final game. But it all came from something that could have been done in a game jam. That's just so cool.
Yeah, dude, it's beautiful. Beautiful, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, one of the other really cool little games I played was a twin stick shooter where the avatar is like Cyclops from X-Men,
Oh,
but he has an allergy where
what?
his eye beam is constant, and he has to take medicine to be able to turn it off.
Oh
And
God.
so it's in a future where all these people are working in the office, so he has an allergic reaction. His eye beam goes off in the office. So the game is you navigating through the office without killing people
Oh
and
jeez.
causing as little collateral damage as possible. But yeah, twin stick shooter where the object is to not shoot stuff. Like, how do you come up with this stuff? It's great. I love it.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's pretty amazing that the ideas that people come up with and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. I want to see more. I want to see more.
So then we'll go ahead and do some quick shot questions.
Heck yeah.
Um, you keep short, or if you want to explore it for whatever reason, go ahead. The first question we have from the audience that I just want to touch on real quick is, what does your coffee say?
Oh, is it coming up backwards?
I don't think it's backwards. Yeah, there you go. Trust me, I'm the doctor. There you go. Fun times.
Okay. Pop quiz. What's the best episode of Doctor Who?
For me, it's Doctor. I love that episode.
Wait, which one? Sorry, cut out for that. Just
Doctor Donna.
oh,
I love it.
I like the first one with the Weeping Angels by hands down.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Don't
one too. For sure.
don't blink. Don't blink. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. All right. So the first question here is, do you believe in the chupacabra?
Yes.
Nice. All right. And then, at which store would you like to max out your credit card?
Oh, at what store? Actually, I'd just like to max out Mr. Beast's credit cards, but let's see here. What store? That's hmm. Hmm. I mean, I wouldn't say no to Best Buy, but probably like more like a Lamborghini dealership or something like that if we're going stupid crazy. But
By all means.
Sure, why not? But where would I find more stuff that I would use every day? Best Buy, something like
Fun.
that. Something like
Yeah.
that.
So then, can you play any instrument?
Oh, no, I cannot. I mean, I can noodle around on a piano. I used to play the drums in a punk band in high school, but I even DJ'd for a while. I got a ton, too many records, too much vinyl. But no, not actually anything. Not no.
Oh, good.
I'll just go with no.
Do you have any favorite stuffed animals?
Favorite stuffed animals? No, I mean, I have some I've saved from when I was a kid, but I don't really like. Not really. Not really. Things that bring back memories, things that I'll probably save forever and ever and ever, but no, not really.
So do you have any strange phobias? You afraid of the onomatopoeias or anything like that?
Phobias. Um, I'm afraid of hard work and I love to face my fears. I don't know, like
Is very regal. So then, what's your favorite childhood TV show?
Oh, that's a good one. It's probably gonna have to be like, DuckTales, Gummy Bears, like that whole hour of TV when I used to get home,
Disney.
watch.
Yeah.
That Disney stuff, man, is so good. And
Mhm.
then even the newer DuckTales, like, it was a bit of a reimagining and a little different art style, but that was even pretty darn good. And I didn't watch all of it, but yeah. Yeah, I love the Disney stuff.
Yeah. So then, are you a socks with sandals guy?
We looking for a fight?
No, I'm not
Okay.
looking for a fight. That's for sure.
You don't wear socks with
Hey,
sandals.
but you gotta live your truth.
You do, you do. And it seems like a game developer trope to be like, "Yeah, I got my Birkenstocks and my knee-high socks. What's up? What's up with it?"
All right. How many cups of coffee a day?
Oh. At home, it seems like it's just 1 or 2, but in the office, especially when we were, like, really cranking hard on, like Warzone and Modern Warfare, it was like, "I don't care what time it is, it's 9 o'clock. I've had 10 cups of coffee, let's keep going." Like
Nice.
and the thing that's nice about that is it was just, like, infinite coffee. I mean, it's not like we gotta brew a pot and somebody burned the bottom, it's single serve, so you just keep going back for more.
Oh wow, yeah, that'll do
Oh.
it. Then let's. Oh, you could rate your karaoke scale of 1 to Mariah Carey. Where would you
Oh,
place it?
never doing karaoke ever.
So 0. I can dig it.
I mean, I might be okay. Like I long ago was it PS2 or SingStar. Like I used to
Mhm.
rock that out a little bit, but only in my own personal home with no one around, or maybe my girlfriend at the time. But like,
So
yeah, no,
like a
I'm
private 7 or 8.
sure we'll go to Japan and we'll get a private room and a bottle of champagne. And I'll do it there, and that's about it.
So if you could choose your own nickname, what would it be?
I am a firm believer that you never pick your own nickname. And in
Uh,
fact, I will go with this. My nickname forever and ever has been, say it like Terminator, but Mundinator. My last name is Mundy, so Mundinator, and I didn't give that to myself. But the story is like when I was probably I've been in the industry for 3 4 years. One of my coworkers, who's now the art director over at Infinity Ward, was like, "Ah, you're the Mundinator," and he would always do like Arnold Schwarzenegger, ridiculous voices, and I was like, "What? What did you just call me?" And then somehow I'm like, "That stuck." I made it like an
yeah,
avatar name in something, and then it just kept going, and now like years later, we find ourselves working together again, and it's like I'm still the Mundinator.
fun times.
Yeah. How about you? Do you have a nickname?
Technically, my nickname is Guy. So
Oh, right, right,
my
right, of
my
course.
last name is Guy, but the reason why I was given that nickname was from a friend that I guess like he already knew a Devin, so he would call me Guy.
Right.
So whenever I went over to his friend's house, his family would call me Guy because he called me Guy on like an off bit for something. I don't remember what it was,
Right.
but their daughter, who was like 4 at the time, that's what she knew me as. And so for whatever reason, since then, their family called me Guy, and then it's just bled into, and it became my game tag as
So I do have one funny nickname actually. I didn't give myself again because again, don't give yourself your own nicknames. But
well.
when I was in college, on the floor I lived on, everyone's named John, like, right? Like, John's a very common name.
Yeah.
And there were 3 on my floor. And of course, if there's more than one, Little John comes up because I'm not tall, I'm average, but there's usually a John taller than me, so I'm Little John often.
Okay.
But the thing is, 2 of the guys down the hall, living in the same dorm room, were both John. And one was super tall, like 6'4", and the other guy was like 6 foot. So it was Big John and Little John. So they're like, well, what do we call John Mundy? I don't know. Well, I happen to be the room right next to the bathroom, and often you call bathrooms Johns. So I was John by the John John.
Wow, that's great though.
Yeah.
John by the. I like it.
But yeah, I didn't give it, but it stuck for a little while.
Oh yeah, if you had access to a time machine, where and when?
Where and when would I go? I mean, I would love to go back to the era of, pirates. But, if there was a way to go back and it actually was something like Pirates of the Caribbean and not actually a really hard time, that would be a lot of fun. But I mean, okay, let's talk honestly. Where would I want to go? You know what? I know exactly where I'd go. I go back to my 15-year-old self and tell him not to get into games so young. Because
Right.
I started, and this is super lame, but I can say I beat Mr. Cliff Blazinski, Cliffy B, by 2 years. He's claimed in a lot of articles, "Oh, I started when I was 17." Well, I got you by
Yeah.
2 years, brother. I started when I was 15. But I shouldn't have done that. I wish in retrospect I could go back and say, like, dude, just chill for a few more years. You don't need to jump in so soon.
Yeah, for sure. So then, if you were a superhero, what would your powers?
What would my powers be? That's a tough one, man, because there's a lot of cool powers out there.
Have you ever played City of Heroes or
Oh,
anything like that?
I played it. Yeah, I played it a long time ago. I didn't play it a super ton, but I did play it.
Do you remember what your powers were in that?
I don't. I don't. I feel lame that I don't.
I
But I
created
think,
a bunch, but I always went for super. That was for.
yeah. I mean, I gotta say, like, I just recently like binge watched, re binge watched all of the Flash, and there's a lot of cool, like, just by going fast and all the things you can do. I mean, I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Flying as well. I mean, right before that, we binge watched Supergirl, and I mean, her powers are amazing. I
Oh,
don't
that's an
know,
easy
man.
one. Then. So your superpower would just be the last superhero that you watch.
Bingo.
So then, in saying that, what was your last Halloween costume?
Oh, well, I have a 6-year-old kid, so we definitely try to do theme stuff. So
Uh huh.
we did the hungry little caterpillar, and he dressed up like a caterpillar, and I was the apple he put a hole in.
Nice, very nice.
Oh goodness.
Can you say any words in
In what?
Spanish
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
here? Oh, no. Yeah. What does your workspace? Do you have like clean, or is it like filled with pop figures?
So my workspace is actually pretty clean. I find, like, if I start to clutter it up a lot, it's a distraction. But I still have a few things. Like, I mean, just looking around right now, I have like pirate flags. I have the NVGs from the Modern Warfare Dark Edition. Like, I just, various things I cycle in. But my wife is actually more of the pop collector. She's got a ton from, like, the Ghostbusters and, like,
Okay, yeah.
a lot of Disneyland stuff, like Madame Leota. Like, we're big fans of Disneyland and the Haunted Mansion type stuff. So yeah, we got that stuff everywhere.
What temperature do you set the thermostat?
It varies, man. This is an uninsulated house in Southern California where it hit 116 this year. So we set it at,
Whew.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what the temperature hit there this year, but
So usually around here,
hold on just a sec. You have completely cut out, my man. Check your chat. Check your chat real quick.
Can you hear me now? Let's try
Yep.
that.
There. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So in Texas, we usually do 68, 70, 73, or 72, or 72, or then specifically 73. So that's like the weird area that we do. So what your AC to specific?
Yeah, we set it to like 78, which we're trying to save a little money here, if you will, because damn that thing. If I set it to 72, it would run all day. It would run all day, man. Yeah, it's been really hot in Southern California this year, and thank goodness it finally broke, and we're back down around 70. So now it's off, but 72 now average.
Dig
Yep.
it. Let's see here. Well, yeah. Where would you go if you were invisible?
Ooh, where would I go if I was invisible? What's the show I just watched? Was it Warrior Nun? And she went to the Vatican. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you've seen that show. I would love to
Yeah.
explore all those places we're not supposed to go. So I go there, I go Fort Knox, I go investigate the White House, like all that stuff that would be totally illegal. Oh, but I shouldn't say that I would also go to other game companies and lurk and see what they're working on. That would be a lot of fun. Sneak into like Bethesda or gosh, where Rockstar. I want to see what the next
Oh
GTA
yeah.
is, man.
Yeah. And then I guess for the last question here, so Gearbox Studios has an epic snack room. Does Infinity Ward have anything like a snack room over there where it's just like 200 square foot space and dang, it's loaded up with?
I mean, I haven't been there since March, so it may have been bulldozed and doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, man, I've been places where it's like a little basket and a few bags of chips, but like that's not Infinity Ward, man. It is a gigantic kitchen. It's also kind of a meeting space too. But we have bunch of game consoles set up. There's a pool table, ping pong table. There's a gigantic Connect Four game,
Oh,
and then
okay.
the whole kitchen is like this gigantic countertop, and there's snacks everywhere. And like I said before, there's like the coffee is endless. It's single serve, and you can get lattes and then we have I think like 4 refrigerators on each floor. This is repeated on all the floors, but and then 4 refrigerators with like every kind of soda you could possibly imagine.
Nice.
It's pretty nice. And the unfortunate thing is I haven't had any of that almost the whole year, man. But yes, I mean, it's a little bit of a trap, right? Because they want you to have enough food and drink to just keep working and working and working
Mhm.
all day
Yeah,
long.
I
But
see
I
that.
mean, at the same time, if I want some beef jerky and a Coke, it's right there as much as I want.
Clean. I had
Yeah.
that once at a job. They had this thing they called it the CBRE 5-pounder. When you join, you end up gaining 5 pounds because of all of the appropriate snacks. Well, anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for letting
Yeah,
us
man.
meet you again. Thanks for all of the insight, for knowledge, all that fun time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, man. This has been a fun chat. I look forward to the next time.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anything that you want to schlep while you're here? Anything you want to talk about under your?
Nah, just actually, yeah, actually, if anyone is has played some Warzone and fallen away, please come check out the Halloween stuff because I don't know if you know, but we introduced some Halloween trick or treating, and check out the jump scares, man. The jump scare compilation videos. We scare the crap out of people, and it's hilarious.
I love it. All right,
All
cool.
right, man.
Thanks for jumping in, man.
No problem.
And everybody else, keep on playing, keep having fun, and we'll move on to the next thing. Peace
Have a great
out.
have a great LANFest.